Here we go.
Cool.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Whyel'd in the Streets podcast. We're kind of doing it from home under the certain circumstances with the coronavirus. And today, I've got a very special friend of mine, a longtime friend, a good old pal, a bud, my buddy Chad Brown.
What's up?
What's up, man?
A bud is right. A long-term bud is so correct.
Right?
That's the perfect way to describe it.
That's the official term that we get.
Yeah.
We met back in
Junior high. Yeah.
Junior high, and we were both on ASB.
Right.
And it was me, you, and Cameron. We were like the three amigos. And
That's
then
right.
high school hit. We went to the same high school, and then we hated each other.
Hated each other.
Yeah.
Hated. It was in my old age, I now look back at that time, and I think it was, I was just insecure. I was a little young man. It was funny. We were like both really tiny people, right? Like me and you.
We were both. I was like 4'10", probably.
Yeah, we had our like growth spurts like way late.
Yeah.
So we were like the two small guys. You were in water polo. I was in football.
So obviously we hated each other.
So we had to hate each other. It was like water polo versus football, and all the big guys would fight each other, and like we were the little guys, so we like had to hate each other.
Yeah.
It was an unfortunate time, but hey, it made us stronger in the long run.
I'm trying to figure out why or at what point did we actually stop hating each other?
It was Spanish class.
No, I thought I still hated you in Spanish class.
No, that was the transition though. We hated each other in the beginning of Spanish class, and then by the end of Spanish class, I think we were friends. Or no, were we not?
Was it that year? It had to have been through that year then.
Yeah.
When
Because
did you stop playing football?
Sophomore year.
So that's what it was.
Yeah.
The football changed you.
The football changed me.
It was like a virus infecting you. You didn't know what was good, what was sitting right in front of you.
When did you do water polo all 4 years?
I quit the team my junior year, and I made up some lame excuse because I felt bad because I really liked my coach. I was really close with the coach.
Souza?
Yeah, he was like a father figure type guy. And I felt bad, and I wanted to do like other stuff because I was really getting into music and stuff at that point.
Right.
And so I made up some lame excuse like I was working or something. Like I had to like work and I couldn't do it. And then they found out, and it was like I felt bad.
Right.
And then my senior year I went back and played like just with all the friends that I had made.
Mm-hmm.
And it was whatevers. It was cool.
Yeah.
Good sport. I like it.
Yeah. No, because I remember now, like, junior year was Spanish class, and then we became really close. And then senior year, I remember taking that photo class together. Remember that?
Photo class was amazing.
Photo class was some of the best.
Fucked around so hard in that photo class.
Raheem, or was that his name?
Yeah.
Raheem.
Awkward daddy.
When Sean Thornton like randomly came into our class that one time.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. And he sat down, and then because we had the permanent sub, and she was like, "Who are you?" And he didn't even go to our school, and he walked on campus.
He just like randomly broke in and found our classroom. It was hilarious. Yeah. No, those were good times. But I remember because I had a truck back then, and I helped you like
truck.
Yeah. And I helped you like lag around some gear.
Yeah, I remember we would trade cars if I had like a show.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Gosh, we used to go snowboarding all the time.
Yeah.
And then you broke your arm on that stump.
You saw it.
I was on the lift going up, and I was like, "Oh, there's Chad. He's got it." And you totally fucking clipped the stump. Oh, and you're like, "Dude, my arm, my wrist hurts really bad."
That was the only time I ever broke anything. That's crazy.
At least you were charging it.
I was charging it, dude. I was charging it pretty hard.
That
was so fun. Yeah.
We were a lot more active than we are now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then you won.
What's up?
Wait, what? I was gonna say you won. Didn't we win something like some best friends thing?
Yeah,
Or like,
I think we definitely won best friends in like the yearbook our senior year.
Yeah,
there was no one that. It was no contest. Clearly a no contest. But anyways, so
so that's how we know each other.
Yeah, that's how we know each other.
Our roots are deep.
But now you are you work at Warner Records.
This is correct.
For the sync and licensing department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you also have kind of your own imprint, Chad's Home of Chad's. Podcasts, live interviews, live performances, and all kind of centered around a very specific kind of sound or culture, subculture genre type thing.
Right.
How did, you know, tell me about that.
Yeah. I mean, like with the genre.
I mean, yeah,
as far as, like
what do you call it? Because I don't even know what to call that sound.
I kind of call it like just indie rock / garage / alt punk, like as a fear, because I don't really like. It's weird, dude. I'm super particular about like the type of stuff that I listen to, because people send me things all the time that are like, "Oh, you would love this," but it's like I really don't like it. Mm-hmm. So it's weird because it like for me, I'm looking for something that's like authentic with. I guess angst isn't the best word, but like with some angst, but really just like, you know, like bleeding on a track. Like you could feel it in the way that they play the guitar, the way that they're singing, like just living through this song. And with that, I love that with a lot of this like alt indie rock punk stuff that I listen to. But at the same time, like I really don't like super hardcore music that's hardcore punk or really like whiny, like emo.
So we're just not going to be friends anymore from this point on, then, right?
No.
I mean, you've had some. I mean, I've watched a couple of the episodes. You threw a show. I went to the show. Show was great. Super fun show. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like when I tell people about it, it's like beach goth or like indie beach rock, punk, indie hipster. You know, like hipster is almost derogatory as a term now. I feel bad whenever I use the word hipster, because someone's gonna get offended.
For sure.
But I mean, it's super dope. I mean, like where are you actually finding these bands?
Yeah. That's exactly right, by the way, what you said, like beach goth, like the Growlers, you know. It's essentially like the Growlers umbrella and everything else like underneath it. But yeah, stuff like that, King Cruel, like those are kind of the gods of that scene, I think. But it's a lot of just venues, honestly, that I trust. Like in the beginning, it was like there's this famous venue in Los Angeles called The Smell that's been around for like 20 plus years. That's just like the home for DIY music, and especially like in that subgenre. So, and there's a huge culture around it. And I started falling in love with that type of music and the energy at the shows. And so I'll look, a lot of the way I found a lot of these bands was through The Smell, really. It's like, oh, who's playing at The Smell this weekend? Check them out on Spotify, whatever. Who booked these kids? What else have they booked? Stuff like that. So I really like did the live thing was how I discovered a lot of bands. And then eventually the algorithm kind of kicked in on Spotify, and it started kicking up some stuff in my Discover Weekly and things like that. But yeah, it was really guided by just venues that I really respected and bookers that I really respect.
I mean, and it's taken off now. I mean, I remember we talked about your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel's been growing.
Yeah.
You know, when I went to that show, because you threw it at The Smell, right? That's where it was.
No, that one was at Moroccan. Yeah.
And you know, the amount of people rocking like the Chad's Home merch and stuff. It's crazy to see, you know, like
that was cool.
It's definitely a kind of like a movement that you're pioneering, or you know, you're giving these people, this genre, this community kind of a hub essentially, you know, where I feel like maybe there wasn't essentially like a go-to outlet.
Right.
And it was kind of everyone on their own.
Right.
And so that's kind of where I see, you know, the Chad's Home thing going off, and it's dope. It's crazy. Like, again, some of the bands that you've introduced me to through that podcast are like in rotation right now as far as like my Spotify and stuff.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
It is. And that's pretty much the idea, honestly. Like, I felt, I mean, a lot of them are pretty young. I feel like mostly I interview kids in like their early 20s.
Some of them, I swear, like their mom are taking them out of fucking junior high early and dropping them off. I said, you need to start carding kids at the door. It's crazy.
Yeah, some of them are a bit younger, but like, I don't know. I just noticed that there wasn't really a good like, a lot of these kids are, I don't know, broke, and they can't afford good content, but they're making incredible music. So it's like, all right, I'm in a place in my life where I'm a little bit older. I have a career that's happening. I have the means to, like, I have an apartment. I have the means to make something. I found an amazing video partner who's become this guy, Robert Aaron Nunez, who's just kills it on video and has become much more in the Chad's Home family. He like helps with marketing ideas and social media and a bunch of stuff. But yeah, and I found him and the two of us just do it all together. And I guess I just saw that like a lot of these kids and these artists didn't have like people asking them questions about the music and have them, you know, talk about what they do and record good quality live sessions with good, I mean, in my opinion, pretty good mixes for the audio equipment that I have. And like,
for sure.
So it was exactly that. It was like a hub that I felt like the community was kind of underserved in that category. And I wanted to come in and try to help out, I guess. And it's been good. It's been well received so far.
Definitely. I mean, like, I remember, the conversations we had about you kind of just from the ground up, starting it all. What do I need to get to record a podcast? Right. How do I do it? What's Ableton? All this type of stuff. And where it's gone, man, it's great. They're sounding great. I mean, you just as like a, you know, beginner engineer. I mean, it sounds great, and I'm sure half of these bands that come in are, you know, fucking stoked just to get a nice, cool recording, as well as some video, like you said, content. With how important that is nowadays.
And I mean, that's like just a huge shout out to yourself, by the way, because Chad's Home wouldn't be Chad's Home without Scott Zemps 100%.
No, because it wouldn't be my home. It's your home. So 100% wouldn't be Chad's home because it's in your house. It's in your apartment.
That's true. It's the people's weed.
Oh, gosh.
But no, you're the one who gave... I remember going to eat Thai food. I picked you up.
Yeah.
We were eating Thai food, and I was like, I want to do some sort of live thing. And you were like, just gave me all these ideas. And you're like, dude, yeah, just call it like Chad's Home or something. And that stuck. And then like 6 months...
Did I come up with that?
You told me that.
Oh.
You told me that. You were like, yeah, see? Dude, you have the best ideas. You need to realize that. But yeah, no, you were like...
Hopefully one day I can get paid off of these ideas instead of just giving them away for free.
You get 10% of everything Chad's Home. I just haven't made any money.
I want one of your little sodas that you got in that fridge.
Okay, the mineral water?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I got a sponsor now.
That's sick, dude.
But no, yeah, just the ideas from the start, and then on top of that, like you mixed the first sessions, you taught me how to mix audio. I still have like the pre-save session of Moonfuzz, which was the band that you mixed, and I kind of go off of that for like all of the mixes that I've done since. So you are a very integral part of everything.
Thank you. Now everyone knows, hey, it's all me. Sign me up. I want my 10%.
You got your 10%. It's coming. It's coming.
This is what I leveraged to actually get you here. Hey, remember all those podcasts I helped you with?
Right.
But yeah, dude, it's great. Chad's Home is dope. I definitely want another show. I can't wait for the next show. Obviously, we can't do one right now, but...
No. Dude, we were about to have I had two in the works.
You had another one lined up. Yeah.
I had another one lined up, and that one was going to be so insane. Like, I'm so bummed about that. But hopefully it happens again. It was going to be the High Curbs who headlined at the Moroccan. It was their single release show because they have a new album coming out. And we got Ultra Q to play, and Ultra Q is this, like,
so
good. Like, Mount Eddie, and they used to be Mount Eddie, now they're Ultra Q, and they're just this phenomenal Bay Area band. And then Sad Park, who's like one of the best LA bands right now, in my opinion.
Billy Joel has been fucking tweeting, hyping up the Ultra Q guys.
Yeah. Billy Joe Armstrong. Yeah. He's the man.
So I was like, Ultra Q. Shit.
Ultra Q's for real. But yeah, hopefully we'll get one towards the end. And I'm talking to a couple people about doing like a Chad's Home, like 1 year anniversary show.
Block party,
dude. Yeah, so hopefully that happens. But I mean, honestly, this was all rooted in Block Party, like the band Block Party. Yeah. Like that's them. Dude, it literally like Block Party and the Killers and watching skate videos in 2007 or whenever we were that, like 8th graders, 9th graders. Yeah. That is what all this stems from. If we want to go back.
I mean,
yeah.
It all started when I got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 for Nintendo 64 on the little blue cartridge, and I popped that bad bitch in there, and my life changed ever since.
That's so true. It is so true. Yeah.
What a pivotal game.
Do you still play that?
I wouldn't even know where to get a, PlayStation.
I thought I thought they did some like reboot of the Tony Hawk series.
I don't know, but yeah. I mean, they were good, and they only got better and better. And then Tony Hawk's Underground came out, and that was like one of the greatest games of all time. Then it started to go a little bit downhill.
Yeah. Was Underground where you could be like the BMX rider too?
I don't know.
That was Wasteland,
yeah,
I think.
Wasteland, it was a little bit of a stretch. Underground was like the first time we could like get off your board and walk around.
Yeah.
I was like,
and the story.
Oh, I could walk!
The storylines and stuff.
Yeah, the story was good.
Dude, it was sick. Yeah, man.
That was a great game.
Great times.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I can 100% for sure that changed. That shaped me, that molded me. That, and then I remember when like YouTube was a thing, when I was in like 7th grade, I watched a YouTube video of DJ Kentaro, and he was just doing like a scratch routine, and I was like fully amazed. I was like, I'm gonna do that one of these days.
Yeah.
And I did get, that's when I was getting into like scratching and shit, but that's
was that tough. What was it, DJ Z-Dog?
The original
DJ Z-Dog.
Yeah. Gosh, that's so bad.
That was good. That was a good name. Well, it's because he had a sticker.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
My dad got a sticker made. Like full on logo and everything.
Because your dad got you your first like turntables, right?
Well, yeah. So like the story, like my dad was always called Z-Dog. It's our last name. Him and all his like cop friends, because he was a cop, so they'd always call him Z-Dog. And this was before like calling someone alphabet letter dog was like a thing. This was like in the 90s. And then they would always call me like Little Z. And then eventually, when I wanted to do the DJ thing, I was like, oh yeah, like Z-Dog, because it was just like my dad would always call me that at that point. And we would always go to the fucking swap meet, and I think it was Cypress College like swap meet. And we would go like every other weekend when I'd visit my dad, and we saw some guy was selling like a full-on like quinceañera style like crate with just CD like mixers, and then like a light bar, and then like 2 speakers.
Right.
And I was like, oh, and my dad was the one that like really pushed me. He's like, oh, like this could, you could start off. This is everything you need. And then we asked the guy how much. He was like, oh, like $550. And I remember I looked at my dad, said, no, like it's too expensive. He's like, no, like you can pay me back. Like you do this many, gigs, you'll get the money. And he was really pushing for me. And I was like very like nervous. I was like, that's a lot of money. I was young. And I was like, oh, I don't know. So we walked around, and then we, 2 or 3 more aisles, and my dad's like, no, let's go back. Let's go get it. And I was still so like, kind of like nervous about it, you know. I was like, I don't know. And yeah, and then we bought it, and we came back, got my dad's truck, came back, picked it up, and you know, the first couple shows, or not even shows, but gigs that I did, you know, like these little like backyard parties and shit, was like me hooking up a laptop with like an aux cable, and I was just like playing off iTunes. But I didn't even have a laptop at the time because I was so young. This was like way back in the day. So my dad had an old work laptop that like the police department gave him, and it was like an old like late 90s like black piece of fucking brick laptop.
Right.
And yeah, I used that to DJ, and then eventually burnt CDs, and then started to expand and like get more equipment.
How much were you making like a gig? How much were you making at a backyard party? Like $50?
Yeah, for the most part, I think I just charged like $50. I remember I did like April Garcia. I did like 5 parties for her.
Yeah.
And her dad like loved me because he was all into it. And it was cool, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was the start of everything.
Yeah, and then you transitioned into. And it's so crazy, dude. Like thinking about, because a lot of the way that these kids that I interview on Chad's Home, like they play backyard shows and then they transition into venue shows, and it's like shitty little venues and then bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's pretty much exactly what we did, or like you did, but with like with DJing, where you were doing all these backyard parties and then going to Cloud 9. It was like this shitty little venues, and then playing these massive clubs that you've played now.
Yeah, it's a grind. Yeah. It's not a, you know, it is a process. I remember good old Mike Barsamian, life coach.
Man, what a guy.
I mean, he would always tell me, he'd always say, every overnight success takes 10 years in the making. And I was like, okay, you know, that makes no sense, because if they're overnight, they're overnight. And I did, you know, it didn't really like comprehend to me. And then the further and further I got in kind of the industry and the scene, it was like very obvious. It was like, yeah, dude, like this guy's been doing it for like 7 years, and now you're just hearing about him.
Right.
And so it's crazy. Yeah, it's a grind, and that's, you know, that's one thing I you know, I tell people all the time, like people that I mentor, or when people ask like, you know, what are some tips that you would give someone? I always tell them, whoever keeps their head above water the longest will like get their chance. And if you're ready when you get that chance, then, you know, you're good to go. Yeah. But it's you know, it's a marathon. Mm-hmm. And if you dip out early, 100%. Then you might not, you know, before you get that chance, then hey, you know, that was on you. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, some of the, you know, back to like the chat, some of the bands that you guys that you've brought on are like ridiculous, dude. Like so talented. And it's like, dude, I wish at that age I was like fucking ripping like that.
Right. Right.
And it's so weird because I mean that wasn't. You know, we both come from the same kind of hometown, and I felt like back in Eastvale, like band culture wasn't a thing. You know, like you didn't.
Not at all.
You didn't like squat up with someone in a garage. And it's crazy when I see some of these bands that you bring on, where, you know, sometimes there's like 4, 5, 6 people, like bigger, you know, kind of groups, and then there's small ones. But it's just like, oh, like, I feel like that'd be so fucking cool.
Right.
You know, like, whoa, let's come over, let's practice, let's write a couple new songs. Like,
yeah.
I wish fucking producing was like that. It's just like, oh, let's collab, let's do something here and there. It's like, okay, but, you know, getting in a garage or like a room with someone and like full on jamming, that's sick.
I know.
I envy that.
Same. It was weird too. Like, and I love asking these people about it because like, I don't think I ever really experienced that. And I really just realized right now when we were talking that like, oh, well, we did. It was just like a different genre. Yeah. Of like, you know what I mean? But
especially from where we were like growing up too, it's just like it was all hip hop.
Yeah, exactly.
And then electronic music started to make its way.
Right.
You know, like like 2006, I think is when it kind of started to like make its way over to us.
Right.
But gosh, if you were in LA or like in that like county at all, like bands were still very much a thing.
Oh yeah.
We were just so isolated.
We were. Yeah, it was a bummer, but that would have been so great. Like, freaking jam with your friends and like
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, there's some talented kids, man.
That's dope. So tell me, I mean, so not only do you do Chad's Home stuff, you work for Warner Records, sync and licensing.
Yeah.
You know, for those people that probably don't know what sync and licensing is, you want to maybe just give them a little synopsis.
For sure. It's so essentially my job is I just try to get Warner Records artists' music into film and television. So TV shows, movies, trailers for movies, commercials. I don't do that, but a different person on my team does that. And what else? Video games, soundtracks.
A lot of networking, not a lot of emailing, a lot of networking.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this job called a music supervisor, and those are the jobs. A music supervisor is the one who picks the music for whatever media it is. So there's a music supervisor on Grey's Anatomy and on Euphoria and on Avengers, and like they're the ones in charge of pretty much all things music. They look over, you know, the composer, trying to find a composer, working with the composer, licensing songs, going to music libraries for like little sound bites. They just do like all things music. So they're my client, and I'm pretty much selling music to them, like trying to get them to use music in their projects. So at the very like brass, I don't know, like skeleton of it, it's essentially a sales job. I'm just selling music to music supervisors. So it's still very creative, which is fun because no day is, I mean, you're essentially doing the same thing, but it's, you know, a lot of different
product every time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's music, which, you know, I am a fan of, so it's fun working in it. But yeah, so it's cool. It's kind of a cross like between the music and the entertainment industry, and as far as like film and television goes.
It's definitely that bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super dope. I got a sync once. I don't know if I ever told you. I got a sync once.
It was for Ninja
Turtles. Yeah. And I like didn't even really know like what that meant at the time. Yeah. And my management team was like, "Yo, we got you a sync deal. It's for Ninja Turtles." And I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, okay, like I'm gonna be in the movie, and they're like, "No." I was like, "Well, what?" And so like it started off as like such a high, and it slowly got like brought down. And they're like, "Oh, like it's gonna be in the trailer." And I was like, "Oh, well, all right, that's fucking sick." And they're like, "But it's only in Asia." And I was like, "Oh, okay, you know, like whatever." And then they're like, and then they're only using like a part of the song. It's not gonna be the whole song. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then they told me how much money it was, and then they're like, "Oh, it's only this much money." And then you have to split it with the person that you collabed with, and then we take a cut. And it was just like, okay, like whatever, like not even worried about the money, but it was just like, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be in the Ninja Turtles movie, fuck yeah. And then they slowly started like giving me more information. I was like, oh. Yeah. But it was dope. It was cool.
Yeah. And I mean, trailers, like, honestly, trailers and commercial real money is for that stuff. I mean, something as like limited as a Asia only trailer maybe wasn't a ton of cash, but if it's like a worldwide trailer, like especially for a big film, it's like, dude, they're dropping money, like a lot of money. Like buy a house money.
A healthy paycheck on that.
Yeah. So it's good. I mean, it's really good, especially like TV shows and smaller bands. It's like they have the money right now. Like studios are still paying, you know, decent. They have decent budgets for their, you know, music projects and their film and TV shows. So it's healthy fees, and it, you know, gets good exposure. But for me, like I think the most fun thing about my job is you get to be a little bit more integrated when you do things like original song work, or like recently I helped get one of our artists a acting role on this TV show called The Bold Type. And so her name's Sophia Reyes, and she had a like cameo acting role. Like she played a part in an episode, and with that she also had to write 2 original songs like for her character, because her character was a singer. So it was super fun, like getting to work with the music supervisor and Sophia's producers and Sophia herself on writing those 2 songs to make them work within the, you know, context of the show, and also just to see her like act and like watch it on TV and be like, damn, this is really cool thing happen. Like, so that's really fun when you get to do original song work. And I got to work with Mike Shinoda, who's from Linkin Park and is one of my idols. And he wrote this song, this original song for this international film. And working with him on that was just like incredible that I got to like.
Yeah, I remember when you told me about that. I was like, all right.
It was pretty cool.
I'm a little jealous now.
That was a cool one. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say like the pitching, trying to get songs into movies and TV shows, like that is fun and like when it happens, but it's cool to think kind of outside of the box and beyond that and really get creative with like, what can I really do here? What could be advantageous for both of us and for our artists? Like, you want cool content, you want a cool show with like original songs or with real musicians in there. Like, how could we work together and figure this out thing? So, and that's been really fun to navigate. And I've been doing that more last year or so as I'm just growing and continuing on. So yeah, it's a cool gig and it's, I would recommend it to a lot of people.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy because when we look back, I remember you came over to the studio with me and JD. We used to have a little home studio, or he had a home studio.
Aurality, right?
Yeah, Aurality. Yeah. And you came in one day and you're like, hey, like, I think I want to kind of like get into music. And I was like, what? Yeah. Like, that's sick. And I was like, but like, what though? And then there was like 3 opportunities, if I remember correctly. There was like a K-Rock thing, like a street team type internship, Glass Note Records internship, and then the other choice was like, oh, like just continue with like business or something. Yeah. And then you were like, we talked about it, and then you did the Glass Note thing, and then you ended up getting that internship, working there for a bit through that label, which has some really cool people. Yeah. And then now moving on to Warner, you're just...
Yeah, dude, you were... I owe you a lot, man. I owe you a lot for everything.
You're throwing me this career. Pocket. Yeah, right? Just blow up already so you could throw me a bone, because...
No, dude, but that's so true. I think about that a lot. I remember getting into music because I graduated with a degree in economics from Cal State Fullerton, and I was just going to go into business. But I interned for my dad's best friend has this doctor's office that he runs in Norco, where we're from. And I interned in like the accounts payable office like that summer, and was just doing like accounts payable work for a summer. And I was like, damn, I would really not like my life if this is what I was going to do. So I just decided like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to work in music and do whatever I can to do that. And then, and you were doing really cool things. You were really the only creatives, I think, in Eastville trying to contribute to a music scene with like the Aurality project. And so, I mean, we were already such close friends, and you opened your arms and as far as advice and letting me stick around and kind of see what you guys were up to. And I learned a lot from that. And then, just applied to a million internships, got turned down by everyone except for 2. And then here I am.
That's crazy. Yeah. Gosh, I mean, it's weird because now when we look back, it really makes me think like, gosh, like it was a dry area where we lived.
It was,
creative stuff wasn't a thing. Like, I don't know there was no real scene. You had to like escape from where we were to like get into a scene. Like Pomona had a cool scene. Yeah. Especially in the early days. Pomona had a great scene. And then San Bernardino.
Riverside had a cool scene. Kind of like downtown Riverside. Downtown Riverside was cool because they had that coffee shop, Back to the Grind. They had some good music there.
Minimal, maybe. A minimal scene.
Pomona was better, yeah.
Pomona definitely had a scene. And then San Bernardino was just like where the rave scene ended up going. So you had to go all the way out there for like EDM stuff. You had to go to like Pomona for like, I mean, the indie scene was like super big out there with the Fox Theater.
Fox and Glass House,
yeah, and Glass House.
Glass House is still my favorite venue in Southern California. I love the Glass House.
Glass House. The Fox is
the Fox is dope. But did you ever go to? Because in Corona there was one venue. And it was like a hardcore punk venue called the Showbox, I think. and
Was it off right off the freeway?
Yeah, but it was in like down like.
Oh no, maybe I don't know that one then.
Yeah, there was a really cool documentary that just came out, but that was like before we were like in middle school, I think, when it shut down, or like early high school. So we missed out on that, and like there was like nothing in Eastville. It was just Dairy Town, like.
And then even like the music programs, like I remember in high school or junior high,
right.
like the band and stuff. There just wasn't like a thing. Like it was never exciting. Gosh, I mean, it's just like a sports area, you know.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
You just fucking do sports.
Yeah. I mean, Norco High was like literally like that movie Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just everybody cares about the football team, and like, it was a trip.
You liked that though. You were into that. You wanted to be so far.
Hey man, I woke up after sophomore year.
Sophomore year of college, maybe.
And then I turned into a golfer. Yeah. You know that.
I love golf.
I'm a golfer at heart. You're a great golfer, actually.
I remember you took me out.
People need to know.
So here's the story. Chad used to work at a golf course. I remember one time, because you used to clean the golf carts.
Yeah.
And then you were like, hey, we need like extra help. You want to work with me? I was like, for sure. And like, I didn't have a job or anything. And it paid like $60 maybe or something like that.
Right.
And we were out there cleaning carts all day. But prior to that, I think you took me to the driving range once. And we just like hit some balls around. And I couldn't get the ball like more than 20 feet, no matter how hard I fucking hit the thing. And I played hockey for like 7 years.
Yeah.
And I was I thought I was going to Happy Gilmore that shit. And then I couldn't. There's no way in hell I got it like past 20, 30 feet. And then maybe a couple weeks later, you're like, let's go play like 9 holes. And I was like, for sure. And you had the hookup at the course at the time, so we just walked on. You got me clubs and everything, and we played. And I won't forget, because I was like, because they've got the different tee-offs. Yeah. And I went to like the first one. You're like, no. Those are the girl tee-offs. You got to play at the back. I was like, what do you mean? Like, there's no way I'm going to make it over there. And you're like, no, you're going to do it. You're going to do it the right way. And so we played, and I'll never forget, I shot a 99 on 9 holes, but my score each hole got lower and lower and lower. So in the short span of us playing, I remember I got down to maybe like 5 like strokes like for a hole or something like towards the end, which for me I thought was amazing. Yeah. And then I remember, I don't know if you remember this, and I tell this story and like no one fucking believes me. I think it was like I got it in 2 hits or something. I hit one pretty good. It was either 2 or 3. And the last one, it was on an incline. And I saw it and I was like, okay, cool. If I hit it and it goes up the hill and it'll roll back down, like I saw the fucking geometry of it. And so I did it and it totally worked out and I fucking freaked out. And then I think I told you and you're like, you didn't plan that. I was like, I totally did. I swear to you. I saw the fucking incline. But yeah, it was fun.
Know. It was impressive. Fun. It was impressive that you counted everything. Like, you weren't cheating.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because I would miss a bunch of the time. I just fucking missed the ball. And I counted all those.
It was impressive.
It was good. I would definitely golf again.
That's been like 10 or 11 years since we did that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy.
And the only other time I've golfed after that was I was out in Ibiza, tour managing. And we went to a golf course. And it was right before they were closing. And they were like, oh, cool, you got like 40 minutes. So we're like, fuck it. So we went out there, just set the ball and just poof, and then like ran to it and then just tried to like huck through the thing. I think we only got to like 5 holes maybe.
Yeah.
But it was windy and like, I wasn't focused or anything. But that was the last time I've ever been on a golf course.
With Panda Phone?
Yeah. Back in those days. And we went out and we like, where we were staying was like next to a golf course. And then we were like, one day let's just go down there. Let's like go play golf. But yeah, I'd love it. I mean, golf is fun. It's a gentleman's sport.
It's a gentleman's sport. It teaches you a lot about yourself.
I don't think I could ever do business on the golf course. People would be like, I don't know about this guy.
We should go though. Does Carly play?
No. Her parents played for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
My dad just started getting into it, like, strangely.
Nice. Yeah. I
want to go play a couple rounds with Papa Brown.
That'd be cool. I'm sure he'd like that.
I haven't seen your family in forever, dude.
I know. It's been a minute, man. I haven't seen yours. I've seen your mom.
I don't even see mine. So so that's not surprising.
I feel like we're never in East.
Yeah, no.
I feel like, and you're specifically never in Eastville.
No.
Does your mom still live in Eastville?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I go home like every other weekend.
Really?
I try to.
This is why you're such a good child. And I'm quite the opposite.
I try to. Yeah. I know. Well, you got too much stuff going on. You work crazy hours and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's just never a fucking downtime for me.
Yeah.
But that's good. I like it.
But yeah, man. I mean, a brief history of us. That's crazy.
Yeah. Good times. Do you remember the list I had in my sidekick of all of our inside jokes?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I had this I had a sidekick at the time.
Wow.
And there was like a notes app. And I remember we had so many fucking inside jokes. And every time we had a new one, I would just write it down. And then I remember for your birthday one year, I was going to go to the swap meet and print out stickers of every little inside joke. And then so you could put them on your snowboard. And then my sidekick got wiped, and I lost the entire list of our inside jokes.
So sad.
And it was so fucking dense.
That was so sad. It was such a romantic you know?
What can I say?
You were going to do that for me, you know?
Yeah. That's probably more than I've probably done for my girlfriend or anything, so that's a lot.
We were sweethearts.
We were two peas in a pod. We were.
Big, like, little cards we made.
Yeah, the photo cards. I remember found that in my trunk. That's crazy, dude.
I know, man. It's good. But it's so cool to see, like, I don't know. How do you feel about how, like, we were about to go. So it's been 10 years since we graduated high school. Our 10-year reunion was supposed to be this summer.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're one of the only guys who, like, really tried to chase something, like chase a dream down, work in music, do music, pursue that as a career.
Probably from our class, 100%. The only other people I know, like, pushing, I mean, you could say, like, some of the football guys, you know, like, they really gave it a shot and, like, did the college thing, and I think maybe one or two of them, like, went pro, maybe.
Right.
But, you know, if you don't count that, as far as, like, creatives go, the only one I know of is and I can't even remember his real name right now, which makes me probably such a bad friend. Like, I can't call him a friend. It's Casey. He goes by Sonny Cologne now. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got some sick stuff now.
Yeah, he's cool.
And I remember me and JD, like, way back in the day, JD had done some engineering for him, and, like, he had asked me, like, production stuff at the time. And I don't know if JD ended up producing anything for him, but he was always, like, he was taking meetings and stuff, and this was, like, way before I was, like, getting any type of buzz or anything. But he's been always, like, really low key, but he just did one of those colors shows.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's dope.
Cool.
I mean, if you guys go check him out, Sonny Cologne, SUNNICOLON or something like that. He's the only other one. I mean, he was like 2 years older than us, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. No one. There's no creatives. But yeah, that's just, I mean, it's just kind of a sign of the times of, like, at least where the area we come from, you know?
Yeah. I
can't tell you how many people, like, if I go back on Facebook to see, like, people from high school, and it's like, oh, someone else is another, like, real estate agent. Someone else is going to, like, cosmetology school or something.
Right.
You know, no knock to any of that stuff, but it's just like, it just seems like a path that you follow.
Right. Yeah. It's a trip because so a lot of my coworkers at Warner, a lot of them or a couple of them are like LA natives, and they're from the like Studio City and like the Valley, where most like people who make it in LA end up living and like raising their kids. And they're like, yeah, every single person that is my friend that I went to high school with now works in entertainment. Like that was just the path. Like that's the path. Like that's like the standard. And so they're like always so shocked that I'm like, they always make fun of me from being that from the IE,
like an outsider
like,
kind of.
Yeah.
You should go be selling cars or something.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Doing insurance or something. Yeah. But which is like, yeah, no knock to that at all. I mean, work isn't like the most meaningful thing in life, but it's just weird that it's like the two different paths, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I said it's tough. I mean, you watch like documentaries or whatever on people and they're like, oh, you know, the scene and stuff like that. It's like, it matters a lot, you know, trying to escape a city and like actually get out and go do something, or, you know, just dealing with type of the, you know, the stigmas that come with like, you know, we grew up in a very, you know, things like Norco and Corona before like maybe Eastvale was really Eastvale. It's just like the type of people out there, like you don't do fucking creative shit.
Right.
You know, like you almost get looked like weird if you kind of like go down that route. I mean, I remember like when I started wearing like skinny jeans and shit, you know, and all that, it was like, you're wearing fucking girl jeans. What the fuck are you doing? You know?
Right.
It's like, it was hard. It was hard to be expressive. It was just in that area. And I mean, obviously like we can't talk that much like shit or play the guilt game, because I mean it's still California. You know, like I couldn't imagine like Middle America or something, like someone trying.
Dude, that's what's so crazy. I just had this kid, Noah Salem is his name. He was just on the Chad's Home thing, and his story is so cool to me because he's from Kansas, and he just like always wanted to pursue music, always wanted to like be in entertainment, and he makes this really cool like lo-fi Mac DeMarco-y type of like music. It's cool. But he just like up and moved from Kansas like to the OC, found an apartment, and like has just been pursuing music. And it's like, that's crazy, because we just had to drive like 45 minutes, you know. But like,
you got to come across cross country shit.
It's like, dude, respect. Like
for sure. That's hard. I could never imagine, you know, like getting in a car, packing shit up, and like going like multiple states and like, I'm gonna try this.
Yeah, my mentor did at work. One of my mentors, she's amazing. She actually got me the job at Warner Records. She's from Alabama, and like after college, she was like, I want to work music, and packed up her car and just drove out to LA and just like got her start.
That's so dope.
Crazy. And here she is, you know, like, you know, however many years later, a freaking boss at Warner, just killing it. And it's like, it's just so crazy to have the, you know, the stones to just like get up and move across the country. But I mean, still, regardless, like it's weird being from the IE, because you're not that from LA, and you're not that, it's not that far out of reach, but it feels like so foreign, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I just remember growing up, everyone, like, when you got to, like, junior year high school or something like that, people would be like, we're going to go to, like, Hollywood. And it was, like, this cool thing. And, you know, I had already been doing, like, promoting shows out there. For a guy named Caesar, or DJ Paparazzi. He had a club called Club Dance at the arena. And I used to promote for him on Tuesday night. So I'd get out of school, I'd take a nap for like 2 hours, and then I'd drive out to LA, promote at this club till 2 a.m., get home at like 3, go to bed, and then wake up and go to school the next day. And so I had been going out to like LA for like quite some time. And it was funny because you'd hear people talk about like, oh, let's make a trip, let's go to Hollywood or something. They thought it was like this glitzy, glamorous thing. It's like, you guys don't know what the fuck Hollywood looks like, because it's not Dude, Beverly Hills, you know?
Hollywood sucks ass.
Yeah.
I hate Hollywood so much.
Yeah.
It's brutal, dude.
It is the
worst place. Yeah.
It makes me, it's always funny like when I drive by to go somewhere, because there's a Guitar Center down there that I go to all the time. Yeah. And I pass right through Hollywood and Highland. and you see just all the tourists, and it's just like, what are they thinking? Are they like, this is not worth my money?
They're so disappointed.
Yeah.
100%. If you want to experience, I don't know, there's way better places than Hollywood.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, we'll just wrap it up. Thanks for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Again, for anyone who's, wants to check out, your stuff, like Chad's Home especially, like where can they find it?
Yeah, my, so the Instagram handle Chad's Home, it's like this guy just with his kids in somewhere, and I like DM'd him to try to see if he'd like change his Instagram handle, and he never got back because I don't think he like checks his Instagram.
It's not active. Yeah.
So I had to switch. So I looped it around. So now it's Home of Chads.
Okay. So that's Instagram.
Yeah. Home of Chads. That's Instagram. That's Twitter. If you type in Chad's Home to YouTube, it's probably the first thing that pops up now, which is really cool. So that on YouTube, and then what else? My website's just homeofchad.com, and that's kind of where everything is. And yeah, if you're up to just trying to find new bands and you like intimate, stripped back performances, and general interview questions and getting deep sometimes, you tune in, because I think you might enjoy it. But yeah, it's very much up and coming artists for now, and it's great. Discover some new bands. Discover your favorite band. Be like Scott.
Definitely. Well, thanks again. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll catch you later.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks again for tuning in. As always, don't forget to check out and join the Rage Brigade Discord server for all the updates on new music, live streams, contests and giveaways, and of course, new podcasts. Stay wild, Rage Brigade.